What's up, everybody? Come on up, panel. Hope everybody's enjoying HBCU at South by. So far, let me stay over here. And everybody? All right, good stuff. I'm Brandon Andrews. I run a nationwide casting tour for ABC's Shark Tank, focused on finding more diverse ideas and voices. So finding people that look like you and have your experience to be on the show. I meet several thousand founders every year and know a little bit about startups, and so excited about this panel discussion where we're going to talk about, one, what motivates somebody to actually start a business, what some of the challenges are, but then also how to overcome those challenges. One of the first things that you learn as a startup founder is that you have to listen to your customers. You have to build a relationship with them and then actually do what they tell you to do. And so right now on this panel, you all out here in the audience are our customers, and so I want to hear what's important to you. So what I'm going to do right now is put a Twitter poll up on my Twitter page. So if you go to twitter.com/Brandon Talk or just look up @Brandon Talk. I also use the HBCU at South by hashtags, but pinned to the top of my page on Twitter right now is a poll, and it says, what motivates you? And so that's how we're going to start the panel. One, I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to fill out the poll. I want to know what motivates you. And I'm going to go to the panel here and say, give us a 1-minute introduction and tell us one thing that motivated you to start the business that you started.
My name is Sean Gossier. I'm actually an investor now, but when I was building startups, what motivated me was disruption in the tech industry. It's what you call moonshots. So doing things that seem somewhat impossible or really difficult, and making that your business, because if you succeed remotely, you'll succeed exponentially in terms of the outcome of that business, because it's never been done before and everyone else thought it was impossible. So that's really what drives me. What we look for at Southbox is early stage entrepreneurs, building tech in the media space, so entertainment, music, film, TV, that sort of thing.
All right, go ahead. And again, if you missed it, it is @Brandon Talk, BRANDON TALK. Check out the survey while these guys are introducing themselves.
Awesome. So hello everyone. As you all know, my name is Hakeem Isaac. So what motivated me to start the business is that if you'd have told me 3 years ago I was going to start an HR technology company, I would have laughed at you. I loved banking. I still do. I love finance. But I saw an opportunity, and I think that's the biggest thing, that when you're thinking about starting a company, is that you see an opportunity, right? And if you identify the opportunity, I think it's on you to move on it if you find value in it and if it's something that you're passionate about. There's a guy in here, everyone's enjoyed the food thus far. The owner of that business is a man by the name of Jasper, who I just met. He's extremely passionate about what he's doing. He's been doing it for 40 plus years. If you don't have that type of passion and you're just in it for the large acquisition or to raise a bunch of funding, delusions of grandiose, seeing your name in the headlines, you're probably not going to make it. So for me, as I saw the opportunity, it was something I was passionate about. I'm passionate about people. I'm passionate about people enjoying what they do. I feel like it's extremely wrong that people have to walk into work and feel like it's work. I feel like at the very least you can enjoy the people that you're working with, and that's where we started the company Unboxed.
Good stuff. Go ahead.
Hey y'all, my name is Jamila Peterson, and I'm the founder of Socialpreneur Lab. And Socialpreneur Lab is an ed tech company that provides resources to K-12 educators to teach entrepreneurship in the classroom. And I was motivated to start this company because I identified with the problem. I came from a low income background. I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, and everyone told me that I needed to get a college degree to make my life better so I could find a job. And when I did all of those things, I found that for some people that's not the case. And so I wanted to teach kids at an early age that entrepreneurship is an option for them, that you can create your own opportunities, you can create your own wealth through business. And I felt like it was important to begin teaching kids as early as kindergarten that you could start a business.
All right, great stuff.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is BK Fulton. I'm the chairman and CEO of Soulidifly Productions. What motivated me to start this company was a love for our culture. I looked out on the movie screens around the world and I kept seeing images of what people were doing to us, and that didn't inspire me. And what did inspire me was the things that we did for ourselves. And I realized that those stories weren't being told. And so I retired from heading a little phone company called Verizon, and I started a film investment company. We publish magazines, we publish books, we do music, and we invest in new businesses.
That's incredible. That's great stuff. So let's go to our poll results. So again, the question was, what motivates you? For folks out here in the audience, the options were money, solving a problem, learning, or something else. And overwhelmingly, it's solving a problem is what motivates folks here in the audience, or what is motivating them to get tech skills or potentially to start a business. Money and learning are tied for second at 17%, and then something else is 22%. Who picked something else? Who said something else? You did? Come on up. Come up here and tell me what do you think what's that something else that's motivating you? Here, stay on this side so we don't get the, yeah, come on. There you go, yeah.
What motivates me is the opportunity to give back to my community.
That's a great one. That's a great one. So lots of motivations for people to start businesses, to start social enterprises like yours. The next question is, how do you turn that motivation into something? How do you actually build something from that motivation? Jamila, do you want to start? I know it's International Women's Day. I'll give you first dibs.
Yes, shout out. I'm holding down the girls over here.
Exactly.
Holding y'all down.
So we heard about your motivation. You have a personal story. You're passionate about solving this problem. But what steps did you take to actually turn that motivation into a business?
Yeah, so validation, seeing that other people also have the same problem. So I got started by volunteer teaching, and I just wanted to teach kids that you have an option to start a business. And from that, I saw that there was a fit in my market, and that it was a huge need, and the kids were engaged, and the parents wanted the program, and the schools wanted the program. And so from there, from the validation that I received, I was able to turn it into a company. And even as I was beginning to turn it into a company, I did a ton of research. I sent out surveys, I talked to principals, I talked to teachers and parents and even students to see what they wanted and what they needed and what their problems were. And that's where I got to start into turning the problem that I saw into an actual company.
So you did what I did on the stage here, which was building a relationship with your customers, figuring out what it is they wanted, and then actually doing what they tell you to do. I meet thousands again of entrepreneurs every year, and I can't stress enough how important it is for entrepreneurs to not only have a hunch and be motivated by that hunch that you have about taking advantage of a market opportunity or solving a problem, but also making sure that you find a way to validate that hunch you have with data that's based on conversations that you're having with your consumers, whoever that target demographic or psychographic might be. So thanks for sharing that experience. For the brothers up here, we have the motivation. What's one tip that you have for these entrepreneurs or potential entrepreneurs in taking their motivation and actually doing something with it?
Yeah, thanks for that question. I think a very important tip is it's easy to fall in love with your own Kool-Aid. So mama make the best grape Kool-Aid or whatever you're doing. But at the end of the day, what I told my team when we created our augmented reality company was don't fall in love with the technology. It can make things float. You can fly around the hemisphere. But at the end of the day, we have to solve a real business problem if we want this business to be sustainable. So you make sure that your idea, your innovation is something that's needed out there. I'm happy to say that we started this business with a few brothers putting in $50,000 each. Mm-hmm. On Monday, we will close on a 7-figure round. And we'll be set to sell this business for $100 million.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's incredible. Yeah, any other tips from the brothers up here?
So, I mean, I think for me, it's like just find whatever it is that keeps you going in whatever it is that you do. So like, a lot of entrepreneurs fall into the trap of doing too much, taking on too much that they're not really good at, and they end up sinking in their own business because they're just focusing their energy in the wrong spaces. So some people can do it all. I mean, I've met those people. It's real, but not everybody's like that. And if you feel like you're stressed running a startup, it's your startup. You can change everything about that company to make you comfortable. And I think that's the simplest way to make sure you have the ability to last as long as it can take to build a solid company.
Yeah, great tips. You have anything, brother?
So I would say the biggest thing is for me is passion. Everyone up here talked about the opportunity, identifying that, looking at the market, seeing if it's something that people want beyond just yourself and your very small kind of community. But the other thing I would really stress on is passion. It is extremely alluring, all the headlines, and then I know that money was number 3 on the list.
Yep.
So, and I know what they say about millennials. We do run with passion. We want opportunity, but let's be honest. That is extremely alluring. The $1 billion buyout. That's something that all of us want, right? I never agreed with someone, or I always ran away from the person that said I would work for free, right? If you would work for free then. Like, give me your paycheck. If it doesn't matter to you, right? And so the biggest thing for me is like the passion. If the passion isn't there, do not do it. Our first company, or the first company idea that we had, me and my co-founder, it was gonna be a dating app. I looked at it and I said, I suck at dating, and it's not something I'm passionate about. And I spent a week of not sleeping. I put up a whole business proposal, and then at the end of the week, I looked back and I said, what am I doing? I was eating a burrito in Cincinnati, and I was just like, why am I doing a dating app and I suck at it? I was getting ready to break up with my next girlfriend. I was just like, this is not something that's for me. So make sure you're introspective. Yeah, maybe that's it. So make sure that the passion is there, because that's what is going to keep you going when you're not paying yourselves, when you're not able to pay your other employees, when you get 20,000 no's. That's what's going to keep you going.
Yeah, definitely. Well, great tips from the panel. Now let's talk about challenges. So there's a variety of businesses represented on this stage, including mine. I'm also a founder. I have a mobile market research platform, so I'm an entrepreneur as well. But each business has its unique set of problems, its unique set of challenges. Starting a business for anyone is difficult because most of them close, but if you are a person, historic inequities and also the issues that we're still facing and fighting today. So I want to know, going back to the audience, I'm putting up another poll. What is the biggest challenge for you? And then, let me pin it to my Twitter profile again. You can find it at Brandon Talk. And the question is, what's the biggest challenge for you in starting a business or getting the skills that you need to take your next step? Is it money? Is it skills or education? Is it business relationships? Is it something else? While you're filling that out, would love to hear from the panel up here. Sometimes we, I guess, like to share these anecdotes about really big, huge problems and how we overcame them. And I think that's important. But what's more important as an entrepreneur, and just to be successful in general, is taking steps daily to build whatever you're building, to discipline yourself. And so what are the daily challenges, maybe the little things that you face as an entrepreneur and have to overcome that these folks may not be thinking because they're not huge things that we might come on a stage at a keynote and share as a big anecdote? What are some of those little things that you guys face every day?
So, clean books. Startups like to think that they're exempt from all the things big companies are when it comes to accounting, bookkeeping, taxes, but all of that, you're probably so small that it's not going to matter to the big agencies that look at it, but when it comes time to take investment or get acquired, those things can sink your entire deal. So it's better to just get into the habit of doing that before the company goes anywhere, and then it becomes routine at some point. You're no longer thinking about it.
Yeah, that's great advice. Jamila, you have anything? What's a small little challenge that you face or something that folks may not be thinking about out here?
Yeah, daily, I think it can relate to anyone, even if you're not an entrepreneur, but your mindset, like what do you tell yourself? And being a woman of color, being young, I face a number of barriers. So if I'm always thinking about, I can't do it because I'm a black female and black females don't raise venture capital, or they don't get access to this, or I come from this community, I don't have a network. If I keep thinking about the problem, it makes it 10 times harder to actually do it. So I daily have to check my mind. I have to speak to myself in a certain way to make it easier to get through those challenges. So I guess my number one tip is to keep your mindset right.
Yeah,
And
self-affirmation is
yes,
important.
definitely.
It's important.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead,
definitely
BK.
like that. The first film our company did was a film called River Runs Red with John Cusack, Taye Diggs, George Lopez, and Luke Hemsworth. And so we're all excited. We got these stars in the movie. And at some point, the lesson we had to learn was knowing when to stop. Because we could have kept tinkering with it and trying to make it better. And at some point, you know, an 80% solution on time is better than a 100% solution late. And so you got to know when to be done with it and move forward. And so we were able to get that done and then do a couple of other films. So in our first year of business, we were the first film company to do 4 films in our first year. But we were able to do that because we knew how to invest our money, when to stop, when it was good enough for our fan base, and then we kept it moving.
Yeah, great stuff. I think that's something that we also fall into as entrepreneurs. We want things to be perfect because this is our baby, this is the idea, this is what we're passionate about, and we want to present it to the world in the best way possible. But the solve as an entrepreneur for how difficult it is to build a business is pushing things out there, getting that feedback, and then making those changes as quickly as possible. So yeah, definitely don't let the perfect get in the way of the good. Go ahead, brother, really quickly, and then we're going to go to the second poll results.
So one of the biggest challenges that I found is the selling component. I'm a huge introvert. You guys may not have gotten that about me, but after I went and spoke with you guys, what did I do? I had my headphones in, and I was in a corner. Like it's real about where do you pull your energy from. So just because I'm an introvert doesn't mean I'm socially awkward, right? But that's one of the challenges that I face daily is getting out and talking to people and selling it, right? Talking to directors, VPs, executives at companies day in and day out and pitching them on the idea. Once I get started, I'm passionate about the idea. I can pitch all day, but it's just getting there is sometimes something where I have to motivate myself and have my daily affirmations to make sure that I actually get out and do it.
That's real, brother. Thanks for sharing that experience. Now let's go to our second poll results. Again, the question was, what is the biggest challenge for you, for folks out here in the audience? What's the one thing that is stopping you think, from starting your business or getting the tech skills that you need? Is it money? Is it skills or education? Is it business relationships? Or is it something else? Skills and education was the number one challenge that's been lifted up by this audience, but you're in a great place because Rodney and Opportunity Hub have a great program set up to be able to help you get the skills that you need to be able to build the business, to be able to get the job that you want. Next was business relationships, so having access to relationships. Third was money, and then, third was something else, and then fourth was money. So you guys feel like if you get the skills, you guys can get the money, but I guess you guys feel like you need to get the skills first. Who said something else really quickly? Run up here. Who said something else? Something else that wasn't named to you. Anybody?
Brother right there, sir.
Who's that? You did? Okay, come on up here, brother.
My something else was I've been learning skills because I do film. So when you start speaking as far as finances and things of that nature, I understand that. But more so branded and marketing, how do you make those connections after you solidify it? Knowing when to push your brand or when to push out a project and things of that nature. So really just knowing timing, but also how to capitalize off when you do get to that point.
Yeah, that's great stuff, brother. Yeah, give him a round of applause. Yeah, clap for him. So we're going to wrap up the panel, but the last thing I want to do is these challenges were lifted up: money, skills or education, business relationships. I want, as we close, each panelist to take one of these. So who wants to take the money challenge? Who wants to take that? And who has a tip? You want to do it? Yeah, you're the money guy, so you can take the money challenge. Okay. What about skills and education? Who wants to take that challenge? You want to do it? Okay. Business relationships is the last one. Okay. And then just something else. It can be timing. This brother lifted up timing. It could be timing if you want to do that one. Okay. And we'll do ladies first unless you want to wait. It was, what's the biggest challenge and how do you as an entrepreneur solve for that challenge? Yeah.
Oh yeah, So yeah, timing is everything, and one thing that you can do, like when you guys are in college and everything, and you know how you have deadlines and you have exams and you know assignments that are due. When I was in college, I didn't think that was important. I'm like, I could get an extension, you know, give me a couple more days to do it, but deadlines are really important. So in order to have good timing, you should look at your productivity. You should look at your daily habits. And when you're managing yourself and your time daily, you're going to be able to meet those goals. You're going to be able to meet timelines. So one way is to plan things out, you know, in the future for a month in advance or 6 months in advance or a year in advance. What is your plan every day? What does your calendar look like so that you can meet those goals and those timelines?
Yeah, great advice. So, sorry, brothers. It's International Women's Day. She got to talk for as long as she wanted to. We'll allow you guys to answer.
So when it comes to money, when you're raising for your business, just don't be afraid to be direct. Tell people exactly what you need, and don't, you know, couch it on, don't say you're looking for advice when you really need money. Just be upfront, and I'll be upfront and tell you no or yes. So it works both ways.
Good stuff. Business relationships. What's one tip to be able to build relationships for your business?
Sure. Business relationships are critically important. Remember that when you're asking people to invest in your business, they are often investing in you. And so you have to show up. You have to put in the work. You've got to be excellent as a standard. And when you do that, people will beat a path to your door. Every billionaire that I know created their own thing, and that's how they became a billionaire. Hundreds of millionaires, they created their own thing where they partnered with the corporation and worked their way up with excellence and got equity and stock and those kind of things. You all are starting out. Build the relationships here. Get to know these people. Get to know us. We're saying reach out to us. The funny thing, I'll give out my card to 100 people and 10% of them will follow up. Don't be that person.
Yeah, I have my phone number on Twitter and I barely get text messages. It's literally there in my Twitter bio. For you, brother, for skills, really quickly, one tip to be able to get the skills that you need to be able to build your business or get the job that you want.
I'll take a different approach. I don't think the skills are that important, to be completely honest with you. I think being delusional, remember, you see it, it's other people's job to catch up and see it. And another thing is that conviction is a multiplier. We live in the age of Google. You can learn and figure anything out. I taught myself how to swim through YouTube, right? Like, and then compete in the triathlon. It's like, there is no excuse. So like, if you're convicted and you're passionate about the idea, there will be no limitations to like what you can accomplish. You don't need the skill. You will figure it out. Jump and build the plane.
All right, great stuff. Give our panel a round of applause. You guys all have my contact info again at Brandon Talk, and my text is literally there in my bio. Reach out to me about Shark Tank if you're interested, and I'm sure our panelists will be around if you want to engage with them as well. Thank you for participating in the poll. Thanks for being here, and I don't know who we have up next, but maybe DJ's up next.
Yes, sir.
Good stuff.
You should tell them about your business.